where you would want your mates to be in real life.
We are your mates.
Hey everybody, we are your mates. I'm Scott Hughes.
And I'm Jack Bingham, and we are accompanied today by the manager again.
The manager.
Lucky Rennie. It's not a B-side, it is the regular Your Mates podcast.
This is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen.
It's good to be back.
Glad you're here. As we said, we are your mates. Take us with you wherever you go.
Wherever you want your mates to be.
Yeah, sorry.
Some people, there's some places they wouldn't want their mates to be.
If you go on the toilet, for example.
Yeah, although maybe that's an exception, because I feel like that's a
Oh
prime
yeah,
podcast.
that's true.
That's a prime podcast listening zone.
Yeah, that's true.
So take us where you'd want to take your mates.
You can almost take us more places than
And
you'd want to take your mates.
We're they're very versatile mates. We are.
Yeah.
We can really do things that we can go places that other people can't go. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it right there.
Right there. We don't judge.
Well, what we like to do is basically bring a couple of thoughts I've had in the week to the podcast. And I've got one to kick off for you, Scotty.
Beautiful.
It is a classic throwback, something that we've done a lot on this series to a really old topics that were spoken about in previous podcasts and things like that. And the one I want to bring back was an all-time favourite. In fact, it's something that actually gets brought up even to this day.
Beautiful.
I would say for both of us.
Really?
Yes, and it is the theory of the urban black holes.
Ooh, yeah. A few people do actually talk to us about that.
Yeah. Do you remember what we spoke about? You want to give us a little recap of how they work?
My recollection is basically that there's places in our society where something might disappear into them and never return.
Yep.
One example is down the side of your car seat.
Yep. Another one is because we were in a bit of a car theme.
Yeah.
Your dad used to have a ute, of which we one day we inserted a CD into the ute where you would expect it to be a CD slot, but actually we put the CD under the whole CD player inside
unit.
the car somehow,
And the car swallowed it.
and it's never been seen again. It was that was quite the experience. So
maybe in like 25 years time. When someone like pulls the CD player out of the car for, like it's at the wreckers, they'll find.
Do you remember what it was?
No, I
Yeah,
can't
either.
remember.
But it was good. Like I remember you being like, "Oh, check this out, great CD."
Yeah.
Shoves it in. Oops, it's gone. And that is the definition of an urban black hole.
Yeah.
Now I want to bring in a new category because I've come across many recently, and I've started listing them down, and I think that I've got enough to bring it back into this podcast. And this urban black hole is what I like to call the workplace black holes.
Please.
There's many.
Please.
It's like there's probably more in a workplace than in our galaxy.
Well,
it's the real thing.
I do remember we did mention, we don't know where the black hole is. I think we mentioned this, but like pens.
Yep.
Pens just go missing.
Yep.
That's what that's my experience in the workplace.
Funnily enough, that's definitely one of the ones that I was going to bring up is basically I actually in this workplace. So it's funny because I feel like we've transitioned in. Last time we spoke about it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. We were very different people back then. We weren't married. We didn't have proper jobs. We kind of we still don't really know what we're doing in life, but we're doing lots of different things to what we were doing back then. So, things are a bit different now, but in my workplace, the pen is the perfect example where I personally am very organised person when it comes to my workspace. I have a pen holder that I bought myself. I keep things like in little documents in a little rack.
Yeah, nice.
And everything's usually like really nicely laid out. Like I kind of pride myself a little bit on a clean space.
Yeah, that's good.
Our office has got a stationary cupboard.
Yeah.
Packed full of pens, markers, erasers, staples, everything you'd ever need.
Post-its.
It's got them.
Yeah.
It's actually an unbelievable cupboard. And when I go and stock up with pens, I chuck about 8 in because I'm not going to mention any names just in case they listen. But there's people that sit around me that borrow my pens and they do not go back. And I know personally that my pens never leave my desk when I'm using them. So I'll write some things down on my little notepad, straight back in the holder.
Yeah.
People borrow them. No worries. That's why I brought 8 because I only need 1.
Yeah.
But I'm currently down to 2.
All right.
And I did take 8 last time I went to the stationary cupboard, which was about, maybe as a guess, maybe 4 to 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're basically dropping it 1 to 2 pens per week.
Pretty much, that's the rate. And like I'm saying, the black hole isn't the pen. Black hole is the people.
Yeah.
In this case, the person. But we'll
But who knows where the actual black hole is? Because obviously, if he needs to continually, he or she, I should say, needs to continually
more accurate.
borrow pens.
Yeah. Well, I would just set.
Then why is that the case? They obviously don't put it somewhere either.
Maybe that's a good point. Maybe the urban black hole, and this would be my guess. This person is more of a transport system to the black hole, which I would hazard a guess is probably the vehicle.
Yeah.
So again, we're going back to cars.
Right.
I would say there's a good chance because she would go out and visit lots of clients and things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would say that
bit of a lost
being
in
borrowed,
space character.
taken, maybe sign this paper.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that there's nothing stopping anyone in my office grabbing the same things out of the cupboard that I do.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just one of those things where I've basically taken upon myself. I know that these holes exist, and I'm basically just combating it by just overstocking.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Have you got any other specific examples of black holes?
I do.
You want to
Another
rattle
one.
off a couple?
Again, basically personal attack. No, not an attack. This one's not a person. This is a legitimate black hole, and the black hole is the workplace drying rack in the kitchen.
Right.
So we have a great kitchen, and I basically have my own coffee cup that I use every single day, make coffees in it. And what I do is every time at the end of the day, I actually clean it and dry it myself with a tea towel, and I'll either take it with me or put it in the cupboard.
That's your personal cup.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not even because it's my cup, but just because I know that stuff gets lost.
Yeah.
And basically there was one time a couple of weeks ago, actually I think it was last week, that I didn't. What I did was I was in a rush, and so I washed it and I just chucked it on the drying rack. Completely lost it for a full day. Went nowhere. Don't know where it went. Wasn't in the cupboard. Wasn't in the washing machine.
Wow.
Wasn't on the rack. Disappeared.
So someone's used it.
I don't know. I've no idea where it went. I mean,
has it come back or not?
Yes.
Oh,
I got it back the next day.
Right.
The following day, I can't remember where I found it, but it was in a random cupboard.
Yeah.
And it was definitely one I'd already checked.
Could have been a wormhole.
So it went on. Maybe it's an urban wormhole. And in the same way, basically, it's a complaint you hear from anyone in our office. And I would say again, staff rooms, offices all around the country, the world, anywhere. Black holes can appear anywhere. The forks in particular, gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hand up and say I am a transporter for the forks.
Okay.
Because I'll often eat my lunch, and then I'm in a bit of a rush. So I'll just pack my lunch up with the fork, put it in my bag real quick, just so it's clean, or because I'm moving somewhere.
Fork from home?
No. Fork from
work.
From work, yeah.
From the staff room.
Yeah, and often the third step doesn't happen, and I end up with. I think if you have a look at our fork slot at home, that probably is a black hole location.
Oh, that's where it's exporting to.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Don't have any pens in there, do you?
No.
Okay.
Not
just checking.
that I can think of.
Just checking.
Yeah. So I do agree and appreciate the feedback. Yeah.
Well, that's basically, it's just an awareness. It's basically a public service announcement, awareness of, you got to know that these urban black holes exist, and it's just up to you to do your part to either, counter them, or you just have to know some things you can't counter. You just have to know they exist, and you just have to try your best in life to avoid them.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll just chuck a shout out there.
Yep.
Hit us up on Jack and Scott Instagram at Jack and Scott's. No spaces or underscores or anything fancy, just Jack and Scott. Chuck us a DM. Tell us your urban black holes. Where do you put something to never see it back, basically? Or where are you noticing that things are disappearing from? We need to know. We basically should compile a list, and maybe one day might be worthy of a website or something.
Yeah,
just
things
really
to avoid or keep note of. Very cool. I like it.
I've got, it's like the opposite of a black hole.
Ooh.
It's not, actually, I don't know, but pretty much I was in a
white
car, back on the car topic, and this is only yesterday, you know how you drop your phone and it'll go into a black hole and it'll take like 4 days to find it.
Yeah. Down the side of the seat is a classic. Anywhere where there's a gap in the car.
This specific brand of car has a V and a W in it. It's where the black holes are that lead under the seat. You know what I'm talking about? That was like blocked off with like plastic all around.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so they've tried to counter it.
Yeah.
In the factory.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bumped off, and what just falls into the footwell.
No, it's still kind of in between the door and the seat.
All right, but accessible.
Yeah. So I just kind of, because I dropped it and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
And then I reached down and it was right there. And I was like,
wow.
What?
Well, because we're not about that, we'll never reveal that brand of car.
Yeah.
But the guys that create that car with a V and a W in their name.
Basically NASA equivalent in the car industry.
Couldn't agree more.
That's all I have to say.
Could not agree more. Yeah.
Anyway, that's me done.
Beautiful.
We appreciate it. We appreciate that's a 1 day old feedback. That's great.
Absolutely.
Love that. Absolutely love that. And it's good to see that a couple of the bigger companies of the world are taking on this initiative.
Yeah, that's good.
Very important.
Everyone to black holing.
Yeah, that's right.
Black Ops.
See you
All
later.
right. So I've got something as well.
Yeah, bring it to us.
So often I like to, when the opportunity presents, go for early morning surf. Early morning surf, which often means pack the bag beforehand, get all my stuff together for like the day ahead. So if I'm like this morning, for example, I went for a surf. Packed my clothes, got it ready, got the deodorant, gel, everything like that, ready to go for work, lunch ready, all sorted, right? But the one thing that I don't like to do before I go in the mornings, because I want to get into the water as quick as I can, I'm trying to limit as much as I have to do in the mornings. The one thing I don't like to do is brush my teeth. I save that for after the surf.
Right.
Okay?
Fair.
And the way that I do that is because I actually leave a toothpaste canister or whatever you'd call it, tube. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a toothbrush in my car door.
Yeah, makes sense.
But what I was thinking about, because a lot of people know that I do that, or maybe not a lot, but a few people know I do that, and they're often quite questionable about like why I just leave a toothbrush sitting there, and like sometimes I rinse it, sometimes I don't. It's kind of because it depends if I've got water in the car at the time.
So it's a bit grotty.
Well, here's the question, right? I really need a fact check of manager. Is whether or not toothpaste itself is like an antibacterial.
Yeah, okay.
Because I mean that's what it's kind of.
It
It's disinfecting your mouth. I assume.
Is it?
Well, maybe it's not. Maybe that's Listerine that's doing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's doing something to clean your teeth. So
You're probably right.
It must be doing something to the bacteria.
It's funny that I've never thought about before what toothpaste actually is doing.
Yeah.
Like, why is it better than just like I don't know why, but when you said that, I was like, no, surely what it does is just kind of cleans it. But
we don't put soap on our teeth, do we?
No, it's not soapy.
No.
So maybe
So
it
does
is
something.
antibacterial.
It's got some fluoride in there. I know that. I don't know what that means, but that's a thing.
The fact is correct.
It's an antibacterial?
There's an antibacterial agent.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
So
right.
this is my thing, right? I remember in my old car. Now, my old car was not a good place for anything. That's true. But I was going to say anything that you didn't want bacteria to grow, basically.
Yep, that's true. I'll just give a bit of context if you don't mind. The Puma, as it was more commonly known,
rest in peace,
often full of lots of junk food wrappers, had a leak in the roof.
Yeah.
So any kind of rain would basically leave moisture in the car.
Yeah.
Along with that nice kind of moisture-y kind of like
musk.
Yeah, that kind of smell. Yeah, just in general, not the nicest place to be for human health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rats, probably no problem.
Yeah. Basically, towards the end, I was very selective of who I let in there. and it wouldn't be terribly uncommon to see something with mold on it for whatever reason, whether it came into the car like that.
That was probably the water that just lingered.
All right. Anyway, in that car, I did have it sheathed, like it was in like a toothbrush sheath or whatever it's called.
Yeah, okay.
Holder.
A plastic one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in that. But I mean, it was in that for probably like 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like washed it with water like every third or fourth brush.
Mm.
And obviously didn't brush it heaps, but toothpaste was in there, toothbrush was in there. Never had a real proper rinsing or anything like that. But never did I suspect it or even think that it was close to getting mouldy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And what I want to suggest is now in my new car, it's actually unsheathed just because I haven't bought a holder or whatever you call it.
Mm.
But because managers confirmed my theory that it is an antibacterial, do you reckon it's just sweet to hang about there, no dramas, uncovered, because toothpaste is antibacterial? So can I just leave it in the car and not ever have a fear about putting it in my mouth?
All right. I've got a couple of thoughts about it.
Sorry that it took a while to explain.
That's okay. We spoke about that last night, actually. It may be a trait that you've inherited.
That's true.
So these are my thoughts. Firstly, there'll probably be a lot of people that disagree, but I reckon you have a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact, similar actually to throwing way back to the old Double Dip podcast of what is it that your teeth are really touching.
Yeah.
And toothpaste having a real solid kind of coating over the top of any bristles that are really coming into contact with your teeth.
At least initially.
And basically what I'm seeing is you've got toothbrush bristles, toothpaste, teeth. That's like the initial contact. So I'm seeing antibacterial on the brush and on your teeth. As even if you smush it in, I feel like everything's kind of been covered at some point.
Yep.
So that's cool. I'd love to hear. My second thought is I'd love to hear from your mum because she is. I don't know. She's an ex-dentist, but she's basically a forensic something or other. Very cluey when it comes to this kind of stuff.
She knows her teeth.
Love to hear from her about it. Yep. And I think you're pretty much in the clear.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's safe.
I'm just trying to think about.
I don't want to state that in case someone tries it, gets sick, comes back to me. Don't want that.
No.
But I think personally for myself and anyone who else is willing to take that on as their own journey, I think it's good.
Yeah. I see. I do hear where you're coming from. It's kind of sparked a little idea in my head, and this actually kind of brings us back to one of our last episodes where we spoke about some inventions.
Beautiful.
Just because you say you're going out for a surf a lot, maybe there's some kind of way that you can take your brush out with you.
Into the water.
Yeah, just paste it up, and then think about the cleanliness that you'll get on it. Just maybe, pun not intended, there's like a cavity on the bottom of your surfboard that it kind of clicks into.
Yeah.
Think about the cleanliness that it will get as you're kind of cutting through some waves.
Yeah.
It's just getting smashed with salt water.
Yeah. It's getting
just
a good
cleaning
cleansing.
it right out every day. It'll be the cleanest brush in Newcastle.
It would be, but then again, possibly unnecessary.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, this is what I'm going to do here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create a moment of which I will edit this out if this doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
in post.
Yeah.
But is your mum in a place to answer the phone?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. She'll be at work, but she can pretty much answer the phone.
What I'm going to do right here, if it works out, is after this episode, we'll give your mum a quick buzz.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure where we are in this studio, there's a way that you can tap a phone in.
Okay.
And I want us to ask her what she thinks about this situation.
Yeah, cool.
And I'll just insert it into the podcast.
All right.
So then I think what we'll do now is just come back from that call and wrap it up.
Sweet.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
Hello.
Hey, Mum. How are you?
Good, Scotty. How are you?
I'm good. You're actually on our Your Mates podcast right now.
Hey, Alison.
Being recorded.
Hello.
Lachlan is also here.
Hello.
Just got a quick question.
We basically this came up on the podcast. Scott brought something to our attention, and we said we've got to call Alison about this because she's the expert in this field.
Yes.
And what is the question?
The question is, So when I go for morning surfs, I often don't brush my teeth of a morning because I do it after the surf on my way to work or whatnot. But that's because I leave a toothbrush and some toothpaste in my car nearly at all times.
Yes.
Used to leave one in the Puma, which, as you know, wasn't the cleanest car at all times. But my argument was that toothpaste, which has been fact-checked, has some kind of antibacterial in it, we believe. And we were saying that really it doesn't need to be covered because there's no mold or anything bad going to grow on your toothbrush because of the antibacterial on the toothpaste. Would that be correct?
Well, to a point, you can actually get bacteria growing on your toothbrush, which is why we recommend that we change it every 3 months.
As we do.
Yes, as you do.
Always.
But you just need to make sure that you give it a rinse after you clean your teeth. So you should also keep your bottle of water there and rinse it. After you rinse your mouth with the toothpaste out, you can just flash it over your toothbrush as well.
So what if you wash it, say, I don't know, once every 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's disgraceful.
Disgraceful is the comment. And what about, Alison, what about the just like car versus bathroom comparison? Same difference really, or is car worse?
As long as you keep the head covered, I'm okay with that. Just put it in a toothbrush container.
What if you don't?
This is a completely containerless.
Your oral hygiene might need to be desired, Scott. Okay. But yeah, pop it in something clean. Anything you put in your mouth should be clean.
Always wise words.
Yes. And just a comment on one of your earlier podcasts in this sort of topic.
Yeah.
You know, the whole double dip that you were talking about.
We did talk about this a little bit. Mention it.
Yeah. Well, I would actually say don't double dip. But what you can do, if you really like the sauce, is turn the Frankfurt around.
Hit it on the other side with a fresh side.
Put the new end, put the fresh end in.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Scott's theory of the viscosity staying on the whatever it is that you're dipping in.
Yeah, you're still going to bite through it.
Hold
and
up,
anything that touches your mouth is going to have bacteria because your mouth has got just millions of bugs in it.
Oh. That's an interesting point. Yeah. That's an interesting point for the listeners.
You really, as soon as you just bite through that with your teeth, you want to be not double dipping anymore.
Okay. Well, we'll put that. We'll take that into consideration, mate.
I appreciate that a lot. Listen, that is probably the first time this podcast has ever had a real fact. That's what I'll say, or at least any kind of credited source. That's what I've been talking about.
Oh, well, you'll get there in the end, boys.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We appreciate you.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. Thanks, Mum. Appreciate it.
See ya.
We'll let you know how we go.
Just put that toothbrush in the container, Scott.
I'll consider it.
And your bottle of water. Wash it out.
That's true.
Okay.
Right. Thanks, Mum.
All right, boys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Al. Well, Scott.
There you have it, folks.
Put it in a case, mate. Your mum said so.
Well,
How good actually was it to have someone that knew something for real on this podcast?
Yeah. I mean, it's always good. I reckon our guesses are pretty educated. We got the fact checked every now and then.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. All right.
I think we've wrapped this one already.
We have.
Let's throw to that.
Cut that. All right. Well, thanks heaps. Thanks heaps, Alison. Appreciate that.
We appreciate your time, Mum, assuming we've had it.
Yeah. And some great insight, I believe. I'm sure there was.
I'm sure there was.
Thanks heaps for listening, guys. Get on the Instagram at Jack and Scott. Let us know anything that has been sparked in your brain. Give us some feedback. Love to hear it. Always.
You've been great.
Thanks, guys.